This would be a JVM valve board.
Ah, right. Okay.
The 50 watt.
Yeah.
Nice. Pretty cool, man. That was super. That was impressive.
So that speeds it up, and it also keeps the cost as well down.
Certainly, I would imagine like that thing was a whole, like, especially electronic group done like 100% manually. I mean, that would take ages.
Oh, and then it would be so expensive these days.
Yeah.
And on DSL
again, we've got
twice.
What we call the odd core components, the components that these machines simply can't hold, are put in by humans. And again, these are self-balancing lines that if you've got a higher demand, you just put more people and split the number of bins down amongst more people.
Your DSL 100 came through here last week.
It did.
The chassis was coming through here last week. So,
Is it the DSL, the top seller?
The DSLs are what are still an absolute benchmark product. I mean, we used to do TSL, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
That's sort of faded away now because JVM's taken over. JVM's much better than TSL, I think.
Is it?
The DSL is still regarded as a benchmark industry amp. So many artists still do something that will probably always make DSL. It'll become like a JCM 800. It's just that, how much, it's that much of a bread and butter valve product.
Regarding JCM, I mean, sorry to ask and make it longer, the whole Spectatura scopes. Sorry. Is the JCM 900, the current one that's still in production, the same as the 90s? Because I think it is. What's the difference?
We did JCM 800 in the 1980s. That principally was a couple of 100 watt and a 50 watt master volume, and then a 100 watt and a 50 watt split channel. Which went across the range. They were made as heads and as combos. So that's principally what we did in the early part of the 80s. Then we had a Jubilee, a 2555, the Silver Jubilee amps, which was a new design. Then after that we then had the 30th anniversary that came up in 1992, where we had a one-off amp called the 30th anniversary. And then early sort of 91, 92 time, we also did the JCM 900, which came in a standard version that had no reverb, and it had two master volumes. That was a single channel with two master volumes. Then we had a split channel version of it that had reverb, so that was the 4100, but they were called the 200 and the 400. And then at the later part of the 90s, in about 97, is when they started developing the JCM 2000 range. So that's where the DSL actually came out ahead of 2000, of the new century.
Kind of to replace the 900. Probably. Same market, same.
That was it. So it was another step on from where the 900 was. Again, you've got split channel, reverb. You didn't have two master volumes in that one. Do you have two master? No, two master volumes. You don't have two master volumes in the DSL. No. So they sort of, again, looked at the market and rectified what people wanted as a base product. And we've been making that now for 13 years.
The idea of the DSL, though, we're going back to basics because the 90s people wanted more gain, this rack products, etc. And then by sort of late 90s when that was coming through, people they were trying to get back, simplify it. So it was just getting a bit too insane.
I still have loads of friends that like saying like, oh, I missed the old JCM 900.
We still make the 4100.
We still make the 4100, the 100 one. JCM 900 we still make it. And it still sells. But
not in huge quantities, but there's certain markets around the world where it's still a desirable product. I think Brazil's one of them.
Brazil is. I know that is a good demand, and still like JCM 900. They
I think some of the Chinese territories, like Singapore, Hong Kong, they still order it. That's also, there's the other thing about when you're selling to, I mean, we sell to sort of 80 different territories, something like that. You've got to meet the requirements of the importing agent so much of the time.
Of course.
It costs them a lot of money to get approval to import something, an electronic piece of equipment. So we're still supporting markets of certain products that no one else in the world wants.
Even with the stuff that it's clearly like announced as discontinued, you still do it for specific markets?
Oh, yeah. Stuff that generally doesn't show in the catalogue possibly still gets made for very small markets. Because, you know, if we do 50 of them, that will be their year's take. And somewhere like Singapore, we may only send one container there a year. So we spend sort of 3 months building up everything for them, maybe only into a 20-foot container, or maybe sort of half a dozen pallets that are going to go sort of on and up someone else's container, and that satisfies them.
So sales-wise, every country you have specific distributor, like in Brazil, say Pride, right? So they're the only authorized. They are the ones to order directly from you guys, and a main order, like a container, whatever the quantity is, and they're the ones to distribute in the local market.
And then they support it, and we make sure that they treat customers the way that we want the customers treated. That's the other thing.
I have a little story about Marshall with my previous band. I was playing for 15 years. We were living in America. I got the order. I purchased all my stuff at Guitar Center. I was a massive customer there at the Boston one. And the other guitarist in the band, he was going to buy a Marshall. He was going to get the DSL, the same as mine. The same as the one I ordered. And then. But he's not like me in terms of like buying and getting it, like, you know, getting straight from the store, and you know, like, he's not that crazy as I am. And he bought it. He decided to buy from our local store in my hometown, and they ended up, it was cheaper than buying in the States, because back then in 1999, 2000. 10 years ago. The local the currency against the dollar was 1-1, and I think the price ended up to be much cheaper, because I mean, if you put like transportation, put it on a plane, excess baggage, you're gonna end up paying much